What is this here?
This is the frame that's going to support it, suspended in the air so it can operate.
The base for the ironworker machine here.
Yep. And it's made of a bunch of different parts, as you can see. It's all bolted together, pretty much copied just off the Piranha, because it's one of the best machines out there. I made some stuff thicker. This was 1/8 on Piranha. I made it 3/16, just because I had a bunch of 3/16 blades, so I might as well use it. So there's this piece, the two-side piece, back piece, and bottom piece here. And then there's also these braces. They go across here. Make sure it's nice and strong. So how I made these is first I punched all the holes. For example, in this one you shear it first, and then you punch all the holes. And then I braked it using our big brake over there. This is something a lot of shops probably won't have a brake, but you could just weld on brackets otherwise. So it's not that big of a deal fabrication-wise. If you don't have the equipment, you can just weld. But we do, so I might as well use it, and I've never used it before, so it was a good opportunity to learn the machine. Still have a lot to learn with it. But let's see, so first step is I bent these up. And then once I figured out how wide this would be, because there's a lot more math that would go into this than you might think. It was harder than I thought it would be, because you have this bend radius and you also have the thickness of the material to consider. So I bent these first, and then once I knew the interior diameter of that and how it affected the bending, I could bend the bottom so it would be a pretty close fit. This side actually bent more than the other because of the way the brake works. I didn't equalize it right. So I bent this side. This side was like a perfect 90, and this was more than 90. So I had a little difficulty there, but it's going to work either way. It's just a matter of learning the machine. So I bent that, and that was pretty close to the right size. So then I made these plates, which I welded to the bottom, and they just have holes matched up from this side. So that way the bottom plate mounts to these, and you can remove it. And these I made after I did these ones, so that way I would know the location of these. But I still had issues with it. You can see I punched them, and then I just made them into slots, so it would work better. Actually, you can't really see. I have my wrench on me. But there's slots here, and the slots make it so you can slide it up and down and get it right, because this has to be 3 inches in between here, because this is where the piece is mounting, and that's 3 inches thick. Actually ended up with about 3 3/8 here, but the rest of it's going to flex. It's just going to be the end here won't flex to make up for it. So you can get like all the holes pretty much 3, except for this very end hole, which I'll probably just throw some washers in there. It'll work.
So why not simplify this to just simple angle frame and things like that?
You probably could, but the thing is you're dealing with the bending moments and stuff of the machine. So to deal with the bending moments, because otherwise it might just topple over, you'd have to get something up on the side either way. And it's going to weigh, it's going to weigh probably like a ton or something. So I didn't want to deal with experimentation in another type of frame. And getting all this flat was relatively cheap, just getting this versus getting some other kind of steel. So it was just basically damage control, making sure nothing's going to tip over.
This is allowance for mounting the cylinder and everything else?
Yeah.
Where's the cylinder going? Is there a space for this?
Cylinder mounts on the lower arm. So the lower arm is a 3-inch piece that mounts here, and there's a mount on that for the cylinder. So all the force is essentially contained within those 2 arms.
Okay.
Not on the frame.
Yeah. All right. So that's the base for the ironworker machine.